Jim Riley is a retired Navy SEAL, serving 25 years straight out of high school from 1971 to 1996, who was inspired by his father, a World War II veteran, to volunteer in his community and give to those in need, those who are unable to support their families and feed themselves. Feeling fortunate throughout his life, he wants to give back to the community and country that has helped him out remarkably. He has served on the USS Midway as a docent for 8 years and with over 3,700 hours. He wants to inspire, educate, and entertain guests so that they can develop an understanding of what life on the aircraft carrier was like. I am David Cambron, a 17-year-old junior who loves the outdoors, riding my bike around San Diego. The smallest things are what I enjoy. Sitting in parks and just enjoying the sounds of birds chirping and dogs barking. I have 2 adorable dogs, Simba and Eli. I have an older brother who has shaped me into the person I am today, giving me advice on what to do, what not to do, and why. Because of him, I wouldn't have been where I am today, and I appreciate him for always being there for me and never leaving.
Yeah, he did. He was a lead by example guy, and so he would never ask us to do anything that he wouldn't do, and oftentimes he would do it first just to show us that it could be done. So he was not a very religious man, but he was really concerned about other people, and his family they had a hard time getting along, so he was all the time trying to mediate on that. Let me think for a sec. He encouraged us to do things like Boy Scouts and Little League, and and a lot of them, Little League not so much, but Boy Scouts, where there's a component of being involved with the community and giving back to the community.
His father had an enormous impact on his life. Training him for softball, Eagle Scouts, and having to fight during World War II didn't help comfort him. These difficult experiences for both him and his family made him understand this was for the country and for his community. He understood his father wanted to show them an example of a good person. This inspired him to join the Navy SEALs and later become a docent on the USS Midway.
The things the Midway did right towards the end of when the ship was active, there was this volcano that erupted in the Philippines. It's called Mount Pinatubo, and it took out all the power, and this is June in the Philippines in 1991. So it's hot and it's muggy, and these poor people that were living there, because it's a big basin, there are a lot of families there. It was a great duty station because you could snorkel, you could sail, you could scuba dive. I mean, the recreation was really good, and it was important. It was an important base for us. So this thing took out all the power. Yeah, so a lot of people didn't have fresh water. So we steamed down there on the Midway, and we put, you've been walked around the hangar bay where there's a couple airplanes sitting and hanging down. We had 1,000 cots set up on the hangar bay, and we took 1,800 people from the Subic Bay and QB Point in the Philippines with their dogs and cats and birds and lizards and all their.
This event displayed the good in Jim, revealing that he cared for all those families endangered with their power out and no way to get out to safety because of the volcano eruption. He put aside their differences and instead helped them out, not caring for their ethnicities or their backgrounds. And he did it because he knew it was the right thing to do from the bottom of his heart. Jim Riley has inspired me to volunteer for my community because it is a self-rewarding act and it awards you with the greatest feeling of all, accomplishment. Since the last time I have met with Jim, I have helped out at homeless and pet shelters. I've made food for the homeless around downtown, and I have helped 5 dogs find a loving home. I will forever cherish the impact that Jim has made on me. Because of him, I now see the world a different way. Volunteering is an act that everyone should try, and the feeling is exceptional.
I think the second thing, and probably more important, is that after the Navy, I worked in a couple of other jobs that were pretty good jobs, corporate jobs. but I never had the same feeling about that I was getting up in the morning and doing something really important. And that's how I felt when I was on the Midway. I thought, yeah, we're, excuse me, we're doing something important for the country. And so, yeah, that I really miss. I get a little bit of it back volunteering. I didn't get it back when I was where I worked for Cisco Systems and I worked for Cymer and Applied Materials and these other high-tech companies.
Thank you, Jim Riley, for showing me the importance of civic engagement and volunteering for your community, and why we should all do it. I will forever remember the time that I had with you and won't forget a single second.